What's up guys? Welcome back to my channel and hello if you're new. If you are new and you stick around to the end of this video and you enjoyed it, make sure you hit that red subscribe button so you can get notified of when I upload new videos. I'm going to be trying to upload every Wednesday and so far that's working out. I have a lot of new exciting videos ahead. I am going to be doing a back to school series which I'm super excited about. This video is a little bit a part of that. I don't know if any of you guys are like me, but for some reason I tend to watch more Netflix shows when school's in season and when I have homework assignments due because it is that much easier to pull out my computer, watch a Netflix TV show when I have other things to do. So I thought I'd do this video. I'm just going to list 10 of my favorite TV shows. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Comment down below if you want me to do a movie recommendation list. I'm just going to be doing TV shows today because I watch more TV shows than movies. So we're going to get started. These videos are in no particular order, though I will tell you my two favorites because, they're my favorites. Alright, so I am going to try to make this video short and sweet. If I'm looking over in this direction, it's because my laptop's open just so I can make sure to get everything right. But I'm ready, so we're going to get started and we'll hop right in. So starting at number 10, I have 90210. It was one of the first TV shows that I watched. I'm actually still on season 5 just because I get preoccupied and I start new shows like every single day because I don't know why, it just happens. But 90210, it is basically a recreation of Beverly Hills 90210, which was filmed a while ago. I know my mom watched it. It was like my mom's age high school TV show. But basically it's a bunch of high school kids who live in Beverly Hills, obviously, who live an upscale life. There's a lot of scandal and drama. It follows around Annie Wilson and her family, as well as other people who become friends and family, and there's just a lot of scandal that happens, new problems every episode, as you can imagine, but it's really fun just to follow around a Beverly Hills lifestyle and to see what it's really about. They audition for movies. Number 9, I have The 100. There are 4 seasons on Netflix. It's basically utopian, dystopian fiction TV show. It was one of my favorites. It's just basically Earth becomes uninhabitable and a large group of people go up in space and they live there for about 4 generations, and then they start to figure out that they are not going to be able to have a lot of time left in space because they're running out of necessary resources. So what happens is the government, well, they call it a counselor, like the president. The counselor sends 100 juvenile prisoners down to Earth to see if Earth is habitable again. And so basically these teenagers go through a series of events down on Earth again. They've lived their whole life in space, so everything is very new to them. Grass is new, the sun is new. Obviously you get the whole point of space and Earth, but there's a lot of problems and there's a lot of change, obviously. And throughout the seasons, they find out that they are not the only ones on Earth. There are other people on Earth who actually survived the nuclear blowout that caused everyone to leave Earth in the first place. So it's a really fun, like futuristic fiction TV show that I really enjoyed. I know there's 4 seasons. I'm not sure if they are still going. I don't know if it was canceled or not. I'll be really sad if it is, but the 4 seasons that are on Netflix are super awesome and I definitely suggest that. Number 8, I have the Scream TV show series. If you've ever watched any of the Scream movies, it's pretty similar but set into a TV style, so you're following around characters episode by episode. I don't usually watch like scary movies, but this TV show is like very suspenseful and I really enjoyed it. You go through the episodes, you try to figure out who Scream is, if it's one person, multiple people. I found it very enjoyable. It is number 8. It's not one of my favorites, but it's something to watch. At number 7, I have Riverdale, which there are 2 seasons on Netflix. Riverdale is super popular. I'm sure you've heard of it. I really enjoy it. Basically, it's just another high school drama scandal TV show. Starts out with the death of Jason Blossom, who belonged to a very prestigious family in Riverdale, and it just starts a series of events. New friendships form. There's a lot of scandal, heartbreaks, basically anything that happens in a high school TV show, but it's thrown into this mystery where all these problems are occurring and Riverdale is changing. There's the new family comes in town, Hiram Lodge, his daughter Veronica, and her mother. That starts out a new set of events with just a bunch of problems that happen. It's a really fun TV show. There's a lot going on. Personally, I think I liked season 1 better than season 2, but season 2 is still great. I'm still finishing that. I think I have 2 episodes left, but I really do recommend that. Next up, we have Shooter. There are 2 seasons. I really like it. It's a different kind of style of TV show. I wasn't sure I was going to like it at first, but I love the characters. You get this like really homey feeling. You kind of understand a lot of stuff that happens in the military and stuff like that. Oh, it's definitely one of my new favorites. So basically you follow Bob Lee, who is the main character, who is an ex-Marine who where his commander comes back and asks him to help out with a problem that's occurring. So basically you're following Bobby Swagger, who's an ex-Marine to, I guess, again, Marine, solving these problems. His commander, and he's asked by a lot of very high officials to finish this job that I think only he can finish because he was like the #1 sniper in the Marine Force or something, I don't know. But it's a really fun show to follow. You get a lot of insight in kind of how like the military works and commanding officers and that sort of stuff. There is a season 3. I finished all the seasons on Netflix, and luckily I finished them in time to start season 3 on regular TV. So definitely look up that show. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of problems that occur with his past that come back to haunt him. He learns a few things out about his father, and it's just a really fun TV show. Next, we have Gossip Girl. There are 6 seasons of Gossip Girl. It's very tongue twister. There are 6 seasons of Gossip Girl, and Gossip Girl is actually my first TV show that I ever finished on Netflix, though I will say I did ask my friend who Gossip Girl was on season 4, but I still finished it, knew who it was, it's fine. Anyways, Gossip Girl is basically like 90210. You follow very prestigious, high-class kids on the Upper East Side of New York instead of in Beverly Hills. One of the main characters, Serena Vanderwoodson, returns home after a while. Gossip Girl sends out a message to everyone asking where she was, and that kind of just starts a series of events. You get introduced to other characters like Blair Waldorf, Chuck Bass, Nate Archibald, some of my favorites, also Dan and Jenny Humphrey, and you just go through a bunch of scandalistic episodes. They also follow, one thing I do like about Gossip Girl is not only do they follow the teen side of the story, they also follow the parent side of the story. There's a lot of drama going in that as well that becomes really interesting and enjoyable to watch. But basically the end goal is trying to figure out who Gossip Girl is and who's going to end up with who, because if you watch, you'll see there's a bunch of different love triangles and whatnot, as there is in high school TV shows. So also, that is obviously one of my favorites because it is my first ever TV show that I finished. Felt really accomplished, even though it's like not a huge accomplishment, but like it is. That's a great show. I will not tell you who Gossip Girl is because I ruined it for myself. I don't want to ruin it for you. Next we have The Tomorrow People. There's only 1 season on Netflix because they did end up canceling the show or something happened, which I was very sad about because I did love the TV show. You follow around Stephen Jameson. Check out see if that's right. Yes, Stephen Jameson, who's the main character. He basically is experiencing he's hearing voices, he's teleporting, he doesn't know what's happening, but basically when that happens, he ends up with a group called the Tomorrow People. The Tomorrow People are being hunted down by a paramilitary group called Ultra, and Ultra is doing a lot of illegal things, and the government is kind of tied in between with Ultra. So the Tomorrow people are trying to stop them and trying to live their own life, also undercover, because citizens don't really know about them, so they kind of gotta stay hidden so that they're not a danger to the world, and then they're not being hunted down by another group besides Ultra. But basically, Steven doesn't know what he wants. He wants to lead a normal life because he's practically, for the past 18 years, I don't remember if he's 18 or something around that age, he's been leading a normal life. He's been going to school, he has friendships, relationships, and he's being introduced to this whole other world that he wants to help, but he's really kind of torn between the two and doesn't really know which way to go. So you kind of follow him and you see what he decides to do. I really like the TV show. I do wish they would have finished it, but stuff happens. Next we have Reign, which is a historical romantic drama. It follows Mary, who's the early Queen of Scots. Basically, it starts with her life in the French court, and it follows her to her marriage with Prince Francis. And then season 2 kind of starts out after King Henry II passes away, so now it's the rise of King and Queen Francis and Mary, who are the king and queen of Scotland and France. Problems arise. There's problems with Francis's mother, there's problems with Queen Mary's history, just a bunch of different problems arise. You are also following around, one part that I love about the show is that you follow around Mary's handmaids, so the other ladies who were in Mary's court also go through trying to find their own prince and their own lord and whatnot. So I think that's kind of cool that they not only follow kings and queens, but they also follow those who are right behind kings and queens, and kind of the story of them as well. I really like it because it's history, so if you don't like reading, you can kind of watch. I don't think it follows history like, you know, like point by point, but you get the idea. So yeah, that's a good show. I also love different accents, so that's why I watch that. Tying in with Reign, this is not part of like my 10 list, but I do suggest Crown. I'm not going to go into big details, but The Crown is a really good show as well. Moving on to one of my favorite ever shows as of recently is Supergirl. 3 seasons on Netflix right now. If you know the Superman story, then Supergirl won't be hard to follow. So with Supergirl, she obviously, Krypton, you know, goes boom. Like Krypton is uninhabitable. Kara Zor-El, who lived on Krypton, is Kal-El, Clark Kent, Superman's cousin. So Kara is actually sent down to Earth to protect Superman, but something goes wrong and Superman ends up being on Earth a lot longer than Kara. So it's kind of swapped on how it was supposed to be when Kara got to Earth. But basically the show follows Kara coming into her powers, learning about Superman, about Krypton, trying to remember her family and everything that happened on Krypton, all while living her human life because she does not want to be discovered as Supergirl. So she's kind of living 2 lives. She builds relationships as Supergirl and Kara Danvers. It's one of my favorite shows I'm currently watching right now. Okay, so that's Supergirl. Supergirl is one of my favorite shows right now. And then last on the list, at number 1, I have The Vampire Diaries. Like, duh. Vampire Diaries is my favorite. There's 8 seasons. If I'd recommend any TV show to you, it would be The Vampire Diaries. Obviously, I am Team Stefan all the way, I think. I don't really know. Like, it's just like every episode, you're either Team Stefan or Team Damon. You don't know. You don't even know who Team Stefan or Damon is because I haven't told you. Anyways, if you like Teen Wolf or you just like vampire, werewolf, witches, books, stories, TV shows, whatever, then you would like The Vampire Diaries. You follow along Elena Gilbert and the Salvatore brothers. It's kind of a weird love triangle thing. Both of the Salvatore brothers like Elena. Elena likes both of them at different points in the show. Elena finds out that they are vampires, and she later on becomes a vampire herself. It basically just turns into this big storyline that you follow. She learns that her best friend Bonnie is a witch. Bonnie didn't know that either, so you kind of follow along Bonnie's journey in becoming a witch, and Elena becoming a vampire, and understanding this whole different world. When the show starts, they're in high school, they kind of go on to college. Some of them kind of becomes a little complicated. Show's a little complicated and hard to follow, so you have to make sure to follow it since there is 8 seasons. Anyways, they get introduced to a bunch of different families. The Michelsons, who are the original vampires. There's a separate TV show called The Originals on Netflix as well that kind of shows how the Michelsons came about, and their connection to the Vampire Diaries. But anyways, I do suggest the Vampire Diaries. It's a fun, awesome mystery fiction show. I don't really know. It's awesome. That's my number 1 recommendation. I feel like I just relived all of these shows because some of them I finished and haven't watched in a while, and had to go back and kind of make sure I had everything right. I hope I gave you guys some good recommendations for this school year that you can watch when you don't want to do your homework, because that's what I'm going to be doing. So if you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Comment down below your favorite Netflix TV show that you're watching right now, because I obviously love to watch TV shows and am always up for a new TV show. Also, if you want to see a movie version of this, let me know as well. I hope I gave you good recommendations, and I hope you stick around, and I'll see you next Wednesday.